We are right at 11:40, and we'll move now. We have a great mix of public commenters. And so the one thing I'll flag in this space is, just given the nature of this condition, we have lots of different individuals participating who have different levels of vision. So I am actually we normally have a clock, and we're going to have that clock, but I'm going to actually interrupt at 1 minute. I apologize. It's going to sound like I'm being rude, but I just want to make sure I'm attendant to the diversity of people's vision abilities in seeing the clock themselves. So I'm going to do that for every commenter. So I'd like to introduce in order, and if when I introduce you, if you could declare your potential conflicts of interests according to the ICER definition before delivering your remarks. I think we have Samar Mohanty, who's the president and chief scientific officer of Nanoscope.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for providing the opportunity to participate in this public meeting. I'm Samar Mohanty, President and Chief Scientific Officer of Nanoscope Therapeutics. I've been interested in tying my passion for eye disease research over past 20 years with the development of innovative therapies such as sonpiretigine step-arvovec to serve the unmet needs of RP patients with severe vision loss. As we heard today, RP is a debilitating and life-changing disease caused by hundreds of different mutations. The degeneration of vision significantly affects patients' ability to perform routine daily activities, achieve independence, and thus substantially impairs the patient's and caregivers' quality of life. This patient population is currently limited to supportive care, such as low vision rehabilitation, including use of visual aids and guide dogs. The patients and advocacy groups has reiterated that slowing or even halting the vision loss is a meaningful treatment goal. A substantial unmet therefore exists currently with no active intervention available for advanced RP patients. Sonpiretigine, if approved, will be fast, transformative, and breakthrough one-time mutation-agnostic gene therapy that will be available for RP patients with severe vision loss. Further, sonpiretigine eliminates the need for complex, time-consuming, and costly diagnostics, removing a key access barrier for patients and providers. In addition to its unique mechanism of action of targeting matured neurons to provide durable efficacy, sonpiretigine is administered via single intravitreal injection, a method that retina specialists are highly familiar with. This procedure can be performed in-office, eliminating the need for hospitalization or surgery. The combination of in-office treatment and a simplified clinical diagnosis process establishes a fundamental, accessible treatment paradigm for sonpiretigine intervention that is convenient, efficacious, and safe. Rare diseases such as RP with severe vision loss affect small and widely dispersed patient population. This makes it challenging to recruit patients, design effective clinical trial, generate robust data needed for regulatory and commercial launch. RESTORE was a randomized sham-controlled trial designed to generate this robust evidence of efficacy and safety for sonpiretigine in RP patients with severe vision loss. Sonpiretigine intervention in RESTORE adequately demonstrated meaningful improvement in visual acuity at week 52 and beyond. And this data will be incorporated in the planned BLA submission to FDA this year. The primary efficacy endpoint, as we saw, change in best corrected visual acuity from baseline of study eye at 52 weeks, was met in both dose cohorts with mean improvement statistically significantly greater than sham control group. Approximately 40% of treated patients as compared to 11% in sham control participant had improvement, which reached the clinical significance level of 3 lines. Again, at 76 weeks, 56% of participants achieved this 3-line gain, while 33% achieved greater than 6-line improvement in spite of the floor effect. So measuring vision improvement by a single outcome in this heterogeneous patient population may be inadequate, as different mutation impacts central and peripheral vision to varying degrees, making the clinical trial design very challenging. As ICER noted in the evidence report, in addition to visual acuity, sonpiretigine demonstrated improvement in mobility and shape discrimination that are important to patients' activity of daily living. Currently, we have 35% across multiple.
1 minute left. Thank you.
Yes, currently we have 35 patients across multiple clinical trials treated with sonpiretigine, and the mechanism of action and clinical data suggest a favorable safety profile, continued durability of treatment effect. The published preclinical evidence shows a complete lack of injected sonpiretigine vector in brain regions. The observed durability of treatment effect is consistent with existing non-clinical evidence for large and small animal data. Finally, Nanoscope has an interest in ensuring ICER's advanced RP review, demonstrating the comprehensive value of sonpiretigine to ensure full patient access to the therapy. Sonpiretigine offers a new beginning for RP patients and caregivers and empowers retina specialists to not only offer hope, but address a long-term unmet need. I truly appreciate the significant amount of work that ICER and Associate have conducted and believe this treatment will provide significant and durable value to patients, providers, and the community. Thanks and have a good Friday.
Thank you and congratulations on this drug development and bringing this to market. I'd like to just ask, it looks like you're able to stick around after lunch for the policy roundtable, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate you doing that. I think that it's so helpful to have the manufacturer there. I think that part of establishing fair access and doing the right thing for the patients is making sure everyone's at the table, payers, manufacturers, patients, advocates. So it's appreciated that you're sticking around for the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Any
additional questions or comments from the CEPAC?
Jason, can I ask a question?
Yes, David, go ahead.
So Dr. Mohanty, you had said, that there wasn't any concern about transfection in the brain. And I'm wondering, is that in humans or in animals? And if it's in animals, in what model?
We have seen the lack of in the brain region presence, not only in mice, dogs, and in NHPs, but in the mice. Just wanted to explain that there is no inner limiting membrane. So in spite of that, and mice brain is very small, and this data was published in 2021 in Nature Journal Gene Therapy, where we have shown in mice brain, even a distance of centimeter, the vector has not transferred into the brain region. So thinking that it will go in the human is very implausible. And we do not have human data, but neither dog, NHP, or mice data shows any evidence of vector going to brain regions. As we know, the optic chiasm or optic nerve is much below brain. The brain region, when we talk about, those are LGN, visual cortex that we examine, which are the real brain structure. And there was absence of this vector in any of those regions. And also another key finding I wanted to mention, as compared to lentiviral vector, where there are safety concerns of genomic integration, we have shown reproducibly there is no genomic integration as in other AAV vectors. And that actually, when FDA is concerned, they're always asking gene therapy manufacturer to do and giving black box warning that you mentioned. Those are primarily for lentiviral and other vectors and not for AAV vectors. And ours, we have done dedicated genotoxicity studies showing that there is no genomic integration. So those safety concerns are nullified. And we believe this will provide a safe and efficacious outcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Just to keep us on time, thank you again, Dr. Mohanty, for joining us. And then move to Becky Andrews. And if you could start with your COI disclosures. And just a reminder, I apologize to appear rude. I'm just going to say it 1 minute. And we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. So I'm just going to share a bit of my story. At 18 years old, a freshman in college, I was given the diagnosis of retinitis pigmentosa and told I was going blind. I was enjoying the life of a college freshman and quite stunned at this diagnosis and how it might impact my life. Although I was experiencing the initial symptoms of night blindness since a young child and decreased peripheral vision. I was quickly introduced to the Disability Center at the university, which was so helpful. I learned additional tools and resources to successfully complete my bachelor's degree at Utah State. This was back at a time when my textbooks were on cassette tapes. Today, I am Becky. I'm a wife, recently celebrated 40 years, a mom, grandma, marathon runner, tandem cyclist, and love to travel and explore new places. Professionally, I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor. I also founded a nonprofit, Daring Sisters, to empower women who are blind through authentic connection and adventure. Each of these roles and activities comes with some additional adaptations due to retinitis pigmentosa. Tandem cycling involves coordinating schedules and paces with a captain. I'm fortunate that my husband is my captain, so he loves to willingly hop on that bike. In 2022, Steve and I completed one of his bucket lists and cycled from coast to coast, California to Florida. Sometimes people would say you had 2 months with your wife on your back. Mobility is one of many factors of adjustment to RP. As we know, it begins with poor night vision and loss of peripheral vision till I have a little peephole in the center. As my eyesight deteriorated, so did the need for additional tools to navigate life. My motivation was to get out there and live independently so I could be a part of my kids' and now grandkids' lives. I spent several months training at the Division of Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired. This was life-changing. I'll always remember the lemon meringue pie I proudly brought home to my family from the Adaptive Daily Living Skills class. My mobility training began with a white cane that opened the world back for me, with a decision to navigate life with a guide dog shortly after. This has been a joyful, interdependent way to experience the world. It definitely comes with its challenges of access issues, always opportunities to educate about the Americans with Disabilities Act. My desire to be active included a desire to return back to running, something I had enjoyed prior to vision loss. This time it would include running with a tether and guides. Grateful to have 2 incredible friends that run as guides. You'll find us usually 4 days a week running on Davis Boulevard. We also have run 10 marathons, including Boston twice and New York twice. What an amazing way to experience the cities. Graduating with a master's in clinical mental health counseling required additional resources to access my books and training. Each internship was a challenge, advocating and educating that yes, I could do the work. For the past 19 years, I have owned my own clinical practice, Resilient Solutions. It's rewarding to be a companion in helping others navigate their challenging times and find their resilience. I witness empowerment and healing each day. With retinitis pigmentosa came many losses and learning new ways to navigate life through the years. One day that I refer to as the porch moment is something I come back to, challenging times. It was a summer day with 2 young children sitting on our front porch. I was feeling the weight of some of these losses related to retinitis pigmentosa. I really wanted to just get in the car and take the kids to the zoo. After a moment, knowing that wasn't an option, I had a shift. What if RP could be a teacher? What if I opened up to the challenge and embraced my tools that were available to me? I pulled out my
1
cane.
minute.
We walked to the bus and took the bus to the zoo. It was a day I look back on when I stopped resisting the challenge of retinitis pigmentosa and began to truly embrace the growth and opportunities that were there for me. As you know, retinitis pigmentosa is a genetic condition. As a mom and grandma, I welcome and am grateful for the research that is being done that will no doubt bless the future generations in our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. I just really want to take a moment to acknowledge, how that must have felt for you as a college freshman to get that diagnosis, and to acknowledge the extraordinary stories that you've just told, the running, the biking, raising kids, grandkids, and the lemon meringue pie. I think it all sounds amazing. And I just tremendously thank you on behalf of your family and all your patients in your professional role, and how much you've been able to make out of that situation and give back to so many different people, including giving back to us today by your participation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the CEPAC or the ICER team? Thank you again for joining. We're delighted to have you here. And so we have one more before lunch, before we take a break for lunch. And this is Sorry. Oh,
You're good, Jason.
okay. Griffin,
Hey, Jason.
thank you for joining.
Of
5
course.
minutes. And I apologize about the interruptions. They're going to come at 1 minute.
All good. That'll definitely help. So my name's Griffin Pinkow. I'm the founder and CEO of Foreseeable Future Foundation. I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at age 11, and now I'm 32. We actually found out about my vision through sports. I was always an athlete. I just loved doing anything, being active, and really excelled at baseball. When my family and I decided to move to California, I actually made a travel baseball team. One day during practice, and I was in the outfield, and I couldn't see the ball off the bat. I'd be running one way, the ball would be going another way. We realized that was the first instance that something was wrong. My dad could throw me 99 pop flies and I catch 98 of them. Griffin in the outfield not being able to track the ball just wasn't right. So after a couple practices of that happening, we decided to go back to my ophthalmologist in Princeton, New Jersey, where I'm originally from. She thought I just needed glasses. The next day, we got back to California. We had a night game, not knowing that someone who has retinitis pigmentosa could see the negative contrast better. With the glasses, I did incredible, a white ball with a black sky. And then the next day at practice, I said I couldn't see anything again. That led us on the journey to trying to figure out what this challenge was and what was going on. After going to doctors all over the country, I was finally diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. No one in my family has the condition. No one has vision issues. I always say I was the lucky one in the family being diagnosed with RP. And through my years in middle school and high school, my vision started to deteriorate even more. At that time, though, I didn't want to use a cane. I didn't want a guide dog. I didn't want to feel like I was different than my peers. In high school, when my vision started to deteriorate even more, my teachers at the time didn't know how to include me in class or make sure I had the assistive technology to be successful. Luckily, my junior year of high school, we moved to Long Island, New York. I went to Cold Spring Harbor High School, and there really was a huge pivot for me in my life. I had a guidance counselor named Kevin Perrone who said, wait a second, you don't have adaptive equipment, you don't have extra time, you have all the tools, you can be successful, we're going to help you. And my grades went from F's and D's to A's and B's, and just knowing that I could do it and I had the tools to be successful, I just needed the help and the support system. And Kevin was able to help me make sure I had that. Luckily, after graduating from Cold Spring Harbor, I actually attended Susquehanna University, which is a sleepy little town, small little school in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And there my vision started to deteriorate even more. People were asking me what I can and can't see. And at the time, I didn't know how to explain it. As we all know, retinitis pigmentosa takes your peripheral vision and shrinks until you have no vision at all. I didn't know how to explain that to my peers. Through on campus, we did awareness events. We did a dining in the dark. We did a walk and bring awareness to you're not just sighted or blind. And it really helped make my professional and personal experience at Susquehanna that much better, and got my peers, my teachers, everyone to understand what I was going through, because that was a challenge and people were mean or they didn't believe me or whatever the case may be. So through those things at Susquehanna, I realized that I could really make an impact and help educate and bring awareness to what I'm going through and what other people are going through in my situation. I never really let it stop me from doing anything I wanted to do in life. My senior year of college, I ran the New York City Marathon. After that, I ran Chicago, Boston, and Philadelphia, and realized that I could do something and make a difference. So after a couple years from graduation, I started Foreseeable Future Foundation, which our mission is to help the visually impaired and blind live more fulfilling lives through sports and recreation. We do that through a few different programs and help thousands of kids, young adults, and veterans all over the country. But personally,
1
dealing
minute,
with
thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
Just 1 minute left. Thank you so much for this great comment.
Oh, okay. Through my personal experiences and hearing more people's what they're going through and making sure that they didn't have the same issues that I did when I was 11 or 12, saying, well, we can't incorporate you into PE class, or we don't believe that you're telling us you can't really see right now, and making sure that those young individuals and kids have the opportunity to pursue whatever they want, whether it's sports and recreation or just feeling like they're part of a community. Also around that time, I actually started competing in tandem cycling, and now I compete at a Paralympic level in tandem cycling all over the world. I do things that people that have full vision probably would never do. I was in Australia and I went skydiving. I've done a lot of really interesting things through my personal experiences and making sure that even dealing with the visual impairment, it doesn't stop me from doing anything that I want to do in life. And having the foundation through Foreseeable Future, being able to share that with individuals that are going through challenges at a young age, dealing with the vision loss and not knowing how to deal with it in a healthy way. Sports has always been a physical, mental, emotional way of me dealing with the visual impairment. And if you said I would run a marathon or compete in tandem cycling, I actually did Pikes Peak, which is one of the biggest peaks in the country, on a tandem. And we set the record for fastest tandem going up Pikes Peak. So if someone told me that I was going to do all these crazy things and have an organization, Foreseeable Future, to give back and help these younger individuals, make sure that there's a community for them and that we can help them. I don't know if I would believe the person if they said I would do those things. And also getting a cane and getting a guide dog, which I have now, Lester. He's incredible. He's a black lab. I think if I embraced those things a little earlier in life, it would probably make personally dealing with the visual impairment a little easier, and getting everyone to understand what I was going through a little bit easier as well, and making them more comfortable. Once I did those things, getting a cane, getting a guide dog, it made my mobility, traveling to these races, traveling to see the kids at certain camps and things that we support through Foreseeable Future Foundation, just have been a game changer for me. But also finding a cure is the most important thing for myself or anyone dealing with a visual impairment, a blindness, or retinitis pigmentosa, and how important that can be. At the same time, bringing awareness and education to the community, saying that you can do anything. You can be a marathon runner. You can be a tandem cyclist. If you want to be a scientist, you can be a scientist. That there are adaptations and things that we need to be successful in any role or position, but they're available, and how they can help and show the community that we're like anyone else.
For sure. Well, Griffin, I have to say, thank you for being here. What an amazing story. Congratulations on your foundation. Congratulations on your record-setting time at Pikes Peak. And both of you actually have made me very excited about the Boston Marathon coming on the weekend after next. So thank you both for sharing these stories and for so many people that you've helped through your own experiences.
Well, thank you, Jason.